This cage for the Action 3 is awesome. Let's find out why. The Action 3 is an extremely versatile camera, but it's not without its limitations. And DJI does a really good job of trying to give you everything you need with its many different options and kits, but sometimes you have to lean on third parties to get exactly what you're looking for. And although it may seem like it, and I promise you it's not, this episode is not sponsored by Ulanzi, and I purchased all of these with my own money. I just find that Ulanzi is a good balance between affordability and good quality, and that's why not only do I recommend them, but I use their products every single day. This metal cage or housing or whatever you want to call it is amazing in more ways than one. Let's start with the obvious. It has a cold shoe. How is it that by now they have not started including cold shoes into the plastic housing? GoPro's guilty of it too. I feel like a good number of people that use this camera are using it with an external microphone. And I know that the DJI mic fits perfect in the side, but not everybody uses the DJI mic. What if you use the Rode video mic or you need to attach a light? Point is that sometimes you really need a cold shoe, and by using this plastic case, you're just out of luck. Now, the cold shoe is great, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not the best part. How many of you out there struggled with putting your Action 3 into this plastic case? I'm not gonna lie, for me it was a bit tricky. With the push of this red button, the side opens up and you can remove or insert the camera with ease. Once it's securely in place, just shut the door and you now have a protective metal cage that has a cold shoe, still retains the magnetic quick release mounts, even the one for vertical shooting, and you still have access to all the buttons and doors. But what about the battery? Do you have to take it out to swap the battery? That's a great question, and the answer is nope. Right here on the side is a silver button. Give it a press and the side drops down, giving you full access to the battery and micro SD card. It really is remarkable and very well made. I would have liked to seen a little more protection around the actual lens itself, but I can see where they were probably trying to keep it compact and light. Oh, and I almost forgot. In case you don't want to use the magnetic quick release mount and want to hard mount it with the traditional tabs, there are two flip down tabs on the bottom. You can use that, or there's a 1/4-20 thread. For vertical shooting, you'll have to use the magnetic quick release or a 1/4-20 thread. And before we move on, if you're finding this at all helpful, if you would just take a moment to go down there and hit the like button. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe so you don't miss any future content. It's free to do and it lets me know how I'm doing, and I much appreciate it. Next up is something that I use way more than I ever thought that I would. I originally purchased it for our hiking trip back in November so that I would have power on the trail. But this BG3 battery grip from Ulanzi has been my main grip and tripod for the Action 3 since I bought it. It has a USB-C that's capable of 18-watt fast charging and a 15-watt USB-A for charging two devices at the same time. I use it for charging anything from my phone to topping off drone batteries, but it really works great. It's 8 inches tall with a 1/4-20 thread for mounting anything from a ball head or a phone mount to an action cam mount. It does not extend, which is the only setback, but it does come with tripod feet for standing up on a desk or tabletop. I expected it to be heavier than it is, as it only weighs 10 ounces, and if 10,000 milliamp hours is too much, then it does come in a 6400 and 5000 milliamp hour version. Before we move on to the next one, I want to ask y'all a question. How many of you know what this is? I was looking for a suction cup mount to mount to the side of the Jeep for going off-road, and so I ordered this one. I ordered it because I'm pretty happy with the Joby Gorilla Pod, and they typically make pretty good products. And when this arrived, I was a bit underwhelmed. We mounted it without the camera, and though it never did fall off, it bounced quite a bit. So with a hope and a prayer, we put the Action 3 on it and mounted it to the hood and set sail. And the Rocksteady 3.0 did a really good job, but as we were picking up speed, the camera kind of started easing back. And not wanting to risk my new $400 camera, I never really used it for filming anything. So doing the right thing, I overcompensated a bit, which I tend to do. and I introduce you to Chunk. I knew I was buying a beefier suction cup, but I had no idea it would be this grand. You can get just the cup, but I bought this as a kit with the friction arm. This is the 4.5 inch, but if you're into big cups, you can get the 6 inch, but it is priced accordingly. The great thing about this particular suction cup is the numerous mounting points. Not only does it have the F22 mount, but it also has 4 1/4-20 threads and 3 3/8 threads. And it also has 80 pounds of vertical suction and 132 pounds of horizontal suction. So you're not just limited to an action cam. You can mount your point and shoot or mirrorless or even a DSLR. But if you do, I strongly suggest that you tether it to the vehicle. If you've ever tried to shoot at midday in manual mode, then you know the struggle is real. Trying to expose your subject without getting blown out skies is almost impossible. That's where Freewell comes in. Freewell makes filters for drones, for the Osmo Action, for GoPro, for the Action 3. You can buy just the individual lens, or you can buy what they're calling their all-day pack that ranges from ND8 to ND64. And they're even polarized for when you're wanting to eliminate reflections off of glass or water. And if you buy the individual one, look at this little bitty lens cloth they give you. Isn't that adorable? The all-day pack does not come with ND4, which is the one I use the most of. So what I did is I bought the 4 independently and took out the ND64 from the all-day pack and swapped it for the ND4. There's also links to all these products in the description below. So when this video is over, feel free to click around a little bit and get yourself something nice. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, the last thing on this list is this waterproof hardshell protective case for the Adventure Combo. Well, not really waterproof, more like water resistant. There are a ton of different options out there, but this one I found to be a good balance between size and protection. Everything from the Adventure kit fits perfectly in this shockproof molded interior. And it even has a zippered lid for ND filters in your cables. It's not something that I would normally carry with me every day, but when traveling and bags are getting stacked and tossed around, it works absolutely perfect. Well, that's going to do it for this one. These are just some of the accessories for the Action 3 that I found were actually worth the money. Again, there are links to everything in the description below. And if you found this at all helpful, you can let me know by hitting the like button. For those of you that are new here, my name is Donnie. I make photo and tech related content, so be sure to subscribe if you're into that sort of thing. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care of yourselves. I know you deserve it, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.